The oxygen on a missing sub near the wreck of the Titanic was expected to have run out this morning. Nevertheless, the search continues. CTV's Geneviève Boschman is in St. John's, Newfoundland this morning with more on the situation. Geneviève, it's pretty much a waiting game at this point. Is there any word on the status of the search now that we've passed this oxygen deadline?
Well, the U.S. Coast Guard is simply saying that it's continuing the search, that the French ship La Talanche, which they had been eagerly awaiting its arrival because it does have this robot on board, this Victor 6000, which is a remote operated vehicle that has the capability of operating very far deep into the ocean near the Titanic, the wreck of the Titanic. Very few machines on Earth have that capability, and now it is at the site. It takes some time to get there. It's there, it's operating, it is on the ocean floor scouring for Titan. But of course, as you say, that window that they had been operating under since the very beginning has now expired. Now, that was an estimate of when the oxygen, the breathable air on board would expire, but it certainly is a situation where yesterday the Coast Guards were saying we're still smack dab in the middle of a rescue operation because the world doesn't give up, is what they said. There is that window, but we don't know. Perhaps they were able to conserve oxygen in some way, whether perhaps they're able to, there is, they say, they were saying yesterday, still some hope. We'll have to see how the operation possibly could change, but at this moment, the search is still ongoing, and there's about 10 ships that are now in the area with equipment continuing to search the waters there.
And Geneviève, do we know, I know that they're not ruling anything out, the search very much active right now, but are they giving any indication as to how much longer this search could continue for now that the oxygen window has essentially closed?
They haven't said that. They haven't said just how long they would continue. They really were just focusing on the fact that there was some hope. Of course, we heard about those noises that they had picked up. It was a Canadian plane that had picked up noises in the area. There were reports at some point that they were coming at regular 30-minute intervals, and that did give hope to people that perhaps this was signs of life from within Titan. And so they refocused the search at this point and saying that they are continuing their efforts there at that site. It's a massive area that they are covering. There's a massive patch of ocean. It's deep, and they say for now that they're really continuing to search for Titan.
And Geneviève, the CEO of OceanGate, which is the company that put this sub in the water, he's also one of the 5 people on board in a vessel pretty much the size of a minivan, oxygen running out. I can't imagine the circumstances they are in, but there were also reports that from employees perhaps that this was experimental in a way. Are we getting any more, I guess, reaction or feedback from people close to this mission?
There's a lot of questions as to the safety of Titan. These have been swirling since the first moments of the search as to exactly how the vessel was built, how it was or may not have been certified, how it was operating. There have been questions since the beginning. A lot of people who had been on board Titan, who had gone in the previous expedition, saying, you know, when you're doing this, you know the risk. This isn't a ride at Disney. This is something that is inherently a risky endeavor. But there were other experts, maritime technology experts, that say that they had penned a letter. The circumstances around the letter and whether indeed it was ever really fully delivered to Stockton, Russia, there's still a lot of questions about that. But certainly they had raised the fact that this seemed to be an experimental vessel. And so whether indeed that there were questions about safety, those questions are going to be asked, I think, more in more depth in the future. Right now, a lot of people involved were saying that they're just looking laser focused on the search efforts.
And the world, of course, is watching, hoping and praying for a safe result here. CTV's Geneviève Boschman live for us in St. John's, Newfoundland. Thank you.